record. Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Stoppage Time. This is the Thursday edition. We will soon be going back to our regular twice a week shows. With me, excuse me guys, with me today, Nick Borrman and Kevin Dolan of WagerTalk.com. Let's go to Nick first. Nick, how's it going?
Going well, man. Just kind of in the lull in between soccer seasons, as you said. We got a little MLS action going on, and of course we have League One, the first European major league to come back. So that's what we'll be talking about today. And Champions League and Europa League couldn't have went any better for me personally. So I'm happy how that went through, and of course my future with Bayern to win ended up being a big cash as well. So things are good on my end.
Good to hear. Kev, what's the weather like out there? How you doing? I'm going to talk about both your streaks in a few minutes, but tell me how it's going.
I mean, not too bad. We came onto the show last week and we told you we were in the middle of Storm Ellen, and now we're in the middle of Storm Johnny. It just doesn't let up. It's like every week there's a new storm. So, yeah, it's rough because some of the internet's patchy at best because I live up the top of a mountain. So, it's dicey. But, yeah, I mean, apart from the weather, everything's going fantastic.
Well, that's good to hear. You are on a 12-3 all sports run with your 4 and 5% plays up over literally plus 31% units, which is a very good place to be, my friend. What do you got going?
It would have been better if PSG. It would have been better. Let's face it. If PSG had converted those chances, it should have been higher.
Yeah,
but,
and we're going to cover that in a couple minutes. We're gonna do a recap for you guys that are watching. We're gonna do a recap of the Europa League as well as the Champions League. We'll just touch on a couple points on those games, and then we'll swing into Saturday's League One games. The season restarted last week in France. We'll have a couple free plays from Nick and Kevin as I get stuff sorted out, and then next week we're gonna start doing. We may do 2 shows. I'm not sure yet. I'll check with the powers that be, but we're gonna do some previews of the upcoming season. EPL is just around the corner. Starting on the 12th of September, and then the other leagues follow. So next week might be just a Thursday show, and then we're going to go back to hopefully to Tuesdays and Thursdays and cover a lot of that stuff. Nick, yourself, 73% all sports plays since July 25th. That's absolutely sick. I'm telling you, 23 and 7, 77%, plus 49.9% with Champions League and Europa League plays after the restart. 94 and 56, 63% sports run since April the 10th. That is pretty much insane. And 61% with best bet run since the 10th of April. What are you drinking there to get you on this type of a run, and where can we order it?
Listen, we all know it's short-lived, right? We all seen the runs come and go, and I'm trying to enjoy it and stay focused and not get too cocky and think I can win every single bet and force anything. So, it's just things have been going well. Numbers, I know Kevin and I do a lot of number crunching when we're looking at these type of games and let a lot of that dictate our plays. And so far they've been working. And, the one concern I'll have as you start the new season is not going crazy because you just don't know exactly what people on the move and teams shaking things out. So I'm going to make sure I don't go backwards as much as I can over the next few weeks as we get back going roaring to these seasons. So yeah, things have been good. I'm very, very happy, obviously, with how it's been. The Champions Europa League was just awesome for me. I don't know what it was. Hopefully they stick with this neutral field system going forward. For whatever reason, I was just doing very, very well in that. But then, of course, if I look at the MLS is back tournament, which was neutral field, I was not doing very well there. So ebbs and flows, but happy right now. Hopefully it can continue. And again, even when you're hitting well, stay disciplined, for anybody out there, and it'll go away quick. And when it does, stay disciplined on that side too, and don't chase anything. So hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. We're living in a new world right now. These are uncharted waters with everything that's going on. We sort of need sports to keep a bit of our sanity on a day-to-day basis. I know I do. I'm in the middle of, on the home front, I'm in the middle of some major renovations, which is why I'm actually filming today from the Prez's studio. I've got flooring guys in there, and there's just so much stuff going on, and I just want to get it done with before soccer season starts, because I've got to build a man cave, with the sports ticker and the TVs on the wall and the reclining chairs and the bar with the double tapped draft beer. So when you guys ever do come visit, I've got plenty of drinks for you guys. Let's talk about. I'm going to go to Kevin first on this one. Let's talk about that Europa League final. Much higher scoring game than I anticipated, and I also thought, with Inter taking the lead very early, 5 minutes in on a penalty by Lukaku, that they're a good team with the lead. But 3-2 final for Sevilla, the perennial Europa League team. That's their sixth final, their sixth win in Europa League. This one's kind of ironic that the game started with a Lukaku goal and it ended with the Lukaku goal. Unfortunately, it was an own goal to give Sevilla the win there. But Kev, any takeaways from that game?
I mean, I called it completely wrong. Obviously, I leaned Inter, and I had Inter, and I had the under, and obviously there's five goals in the game, and Sevilla come out on top. So called it. I think actually the penalty was a kind of bad thing. It was a negative long term in the game for Inter. They seemed to just they scored too early. I think what you were saying there, they're so good at protecting the lead that I just think they switched off. And, you can't do that against a team who's won 3 of the last 6 years, now 4 of the last 7 years. So, Sevilla kind of caught them on the hop. And I think what we were saying, it was just kind of funny how it happened with me in particular, just because I'd said about Getafe, the team looks tired. Leverkusen, the team looks tired. Then they go against Shakhtar, and I'm like, you know what? I've got this team dead wrong. They don't look tired. They keep improving. And then what happens? I'm finally on the train. We get to the final. They look shattered. They look completely tired. They're out of gas by the 60th minute. So I thought Sevilla were excellent. And, nothing to take away, but, congrats to Sevilla, basically.
Listen, man, I've jumped on the train at the wrong time many times, and I feel like I've jumped in front of the train. So it's one of those things. It's... we watch them. Nobody's expected 5 goals in this game, so you weren't alone on that one. I also had Inter, and I wavered back and forth between taking Inter or taking the under. Taking Inter or taking the under. As it turned out, it wouldn't matter which one I took. I would have lost either way. With that, but I will say before I throw this to Nick that I still believe, and it's not because I had Inter, but on that Lukaku penalty, when the last defender brings a guy down or falls him in the box, it's usually a red. And I think someone said to me on Twitter or tweeted out, it's too early in the game for a ref to decide the game. It doesn't matter whether the foul occurs in the 4th minute or whether it occurs in the 90th minute. A foul is a foul to those rules. So I still believe it should have been a red. Unfortunately, it wasn't, and it benefited the man we're going to now, Nick Borrman. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I guess expect the unexpected in these finals, right? Sevilla, Inter, defensive teams, this game's going under. Bayern, PSG, offensive teams, this game's flying over. What happened? Obviously, the opposite of both. For me, I don't know. I ended up taking both teams to score. I wasn't fully sold on the over myself, but I figured a 1-1 could happen, and we'd at least see both teams find a way to get on the board, because they have been the whole tournament long. So I wasn't really on the over. I was really on just both teams scoring, which hitting with the 12th minute or something is when Sevilla struck back. So that was awesome. And Sevilla, when we talked about the preview of the show, I was going to go on either team if they were catching goals. So that's really what it came down to for me. I thought they were both playing well. I thought a value would be on either side if they were catching a number, and Sevilla just happened to be the one catching the number, so I took them. It wasn't a fade of Inter by any means. Inter had looked good in several games leading up, but so did Sevilla. So again, I just went on the premise that if one of these teams is catching some goals here, I think that's a good value side to take, and that's where I went. Luckily, it worked out. But I don't think Sevilla just kind of do what they do. I mean, it's a Spanish style of football. They're tough, they're gritty, they play defensive, and once they can get a lead, they did allow the time they got up 2-1, and they did allow Inter to come back, but they're hard to come back on too when they do get a lead. They know how to play with a lead. So it was one of those games that I think as Kevin said, as the game went on, Inter looked more and more tired. Sevilla will wear on anybody, and the more physical you play with somebody, and the more you hold them to that kind of style, it's harder and harder and harder to score the longer it goes on. So happy, of course, with the way it turned out. The Champions League game, which I'm sure we'll talk about here next, was not as good to me as far as the individual game. I was happy Bayern won for my futures bet, but man, I missed pretty much everything on the game itself.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, as a fan of Italian soccer, and obviously my Juventus team, they have a rivalry with Inter. So they tweeted out. I think you guys might have saw that. They tweeted out from the Juventus account to congratulate Sevilla, and a lot of people chimed in thinking that the Juve admin were trolling Inter, and yes, they were. Trust me, I understand. I know. I met and I know some of the guys that run the Juventus social media account, both Instagram and Twitter, and that was a complete troll in my eyes. So I'm pretty certain it is. But anyways, that's 9 years and running with no trophies for Inter. So we'll see what they can do sort of moving forward. Then Sunday, in a game, as you said, where we expected some goals to be scored. I certainly did. I thought both teams to score in over 2.5, even laying $1.60, $1.70 was probably a very good bet, although it seems like a lot of vig. And I gotta say, Manuel Neuer, he made two monstrous saves that stopped PSG from going ahead. The first one, where I think it was where Neymar almost slotted it through his legs, and it sort of kind of bounced around that little private area there and didn't go into the net. But he slots it through there, and it's 1-0 PSG, and we're off to the races, and we're probably going to get a very open game. We didn't see any goals, and we didn't see anything until the 59th minute when Kingsley Coman scored that goal, and PSG still had numerous chances. I never expected 1-0 in this game.
No, you expected 0-0.
What's that?
You expected 0-0.
Yeah, I joked around with you guys that the price on 0-0 leading up to the game was plus 2,200, and for 59 minutes, that plus 2,200 was looking good. They're probably offering a decent price to cash that out in the 50th minute, let's say, or 55th minute, but didn't expect 1-0. Before I throw it to you, welcome Andrew McInnes in the chat. Any of you guys who have a question, let me know. Andrew is recovering nicely at home. Surgery went well. Take care of that knee, and we'll see you on Puck Time live on Saturday.
Wish you the best.
But I will throw this one to Kevin Actually, I'm going to throw this one to Nick first, because I would like Kevin to have the rebuttal on this Champions League one. So, Nick, thoughts on this game?
Kevin wins. PSG was the better team. They played better. They had more chances. Bayern, that's soccer, right? The score doesn't always indicate who played better on the field. PSG had the chances. They had more of them. Neuer won the game for Bayern. I mean, that was an Oscar-winning performance. Is that the right thing to say? No, but he was fantastic. He literally saved the game for them. Bayern played well. It's not like they didn't play well. They had a couple chances. Lewandowski missed one off the post. So they had their chances, but I think PSG, they had more. They had the better ones when they did have the opportunities. And if it wasn't for Neuer making several great saves, he even had like a remarkable kick save in the second half too that, I think it was Mbappe was about to score. And again, he won the game. I think PSG probably played better, deserved to win that one, but such it goes. I was, of course, happy with the result for my future. For the play, I had the over. That was, it wasn't even halftime yet, and I was like, this is just not going well. I didn't, once those first couple saves came in, I kind of just started. I don't know, the chances that they got, they weren't getting a lot either way, but they were getting good ones. And once he started saving those few good ones, I'm like, well, there's just not enough volume here to think that I'm going to get enough chances the rest of the game. So I kind of wrote that off. And then every freaking prop I had was reliant on, goals being scored. So I had goal scorers, I had both teams to score, I had corners, everything lost. So from a game perspective, it was absolutely terrible. But I can't complain about one game. I did have one guy on Twitter troll me pretty hard, but that's one game. Yeah. Anybody that was with the Champions Europa package, of course, we crushed it with 23-7 and won a lot of money. But so one game, PSG was better. Congrats to you, Kevin. I say as far as you had the right side on that game.
That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
That's all that matters, to be honest.
Now, what I need to know from Kevin as far as this goes is, Kev, why did you troll him on Twitter?
Yeah, I set up a few burner accounts, wanted to give him a hard time, Look, I said this last week, as much as me and Nick go back and forth, we're always on the same side. I just had the over in the first half, over 1.25. I like that because PSG tend to start quick. Yeah. And I mean, the game starts off and, Lewandowski hit the post, as Nick said. Mbappe was right in front of goal. Di Maria missed a golden opportunity too. There was that penalty call right before half-time on the Bayern side. The game had multiple chances to get a goal in the first half. So, look, PSG are simply going to have nightmares, about Manuel Neuer's right leg. He just kept sticking it out like he was some kind of ballerina. And I wouldn't mind. This is a player that I think's been on the slide for the last 2 seasons. Yes. I don't think he's been as good as he used to be, but he found his form back at the right time. I mean, what a better place to find your old form in the Champions League final. So congrats. The scary thing for me was basically this season I liked PSG. Obviously, we gave it out as that future because in my eyes, Bayern were just even though they've got experienced heads, your Thomas Mullers, your Lewandowskis, I thought they were a little bit too young. I thought they were a little bit too inexperienced, especially at the back with their wingers. The scary thing for me now is I like Bayern for next season. I thought, they're going to be too inexperienced this season to win it. I see them getting to a semi-final final. I think they'll be picked off, though, by a more experienced PSG. So the fact that Bayern managed to go all the way and win it this year does not bode well, at least in my eyes, for the rest of Europe.
Yeah. I can't add anything more to what you said. I think if David De Gea was in net, those would have been 2 goals, and PSG would be up 2-0. But that's just me as far as that goes. All right, so again, sort of recapping, we are going to do a couple plays in Saturday's League One. There's 2 games in France's League One. Their new season is underway. The other seasons start in a couple weeks' time, and next week we're going to start with an EPL preview. But up until I think this weekend is the last chance you guys have of getting this promo. As you see on the screen, there's a 30, 60, and 30, it should say 90. Oh, my apologies. 30, 90, and 365-day promos. You literally use the codes, and I'll pop them up in the chat shortly, but they'll be found on everyone's page. The first 2 initials of either one of our names, so Carmine Bianco, CB, 365, and then SOC for soccer. And that'll get you $350 off a year of soccer. These are the lowest prices you're ever going to find these packages on. They're $60 off the 30-day package, $200 off the 90-day package, and $350 off the 1-year package. It's the lowest you're going to have, and the new seasons are starting. They're basically a week and a half away. If you pick the package up now, our fantastic ladies at customer service are going to make sure that you're getting the plays now, but your end of the package will actually end at the start of the last league that starts. So if the last league starts on September the 19th, then your 1-year package will end next year on September the 19th. So basically you're getting all the plays now, plus the extra couple weeks 3 weeks before everything sort of kicks off. So those are pretty good deals. If you want Nick Borman's, it's NB 30 SOC or NB 90 SOC and NB 365 SOC, and same with Kevin Dolan's KD, and then the same numbers. Head over to
I think actually, sorry, Carmine, I think mine's KEV.
Is
I
it?
think that's what Melissa sent me. I think so. Yeah, I think it's KEV 30, KEV 365. As far as I know, I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure.
Why do you get
mine?
Why do you get
mine is Nick
Oh.
Nick 90, Nick 365.
Okay, so-
She made them all different. It's all good.
All right, so I'm just going to post my links up now on the Major Talk one, and then I'll get you guys up there as well. All right, so let's head into France League 1. PSG's game, I think they were supposed to play this weekend, has been postponed. I think there's like an 11 or 12 day, because they were in the final and they need to give players at least 30 days. That was the agreement off before they start playing again. A bit of a break before they get right into another busy season, but there still are games going on. I'm going to throw to Nick first. Strasbourg and Nice. If you give me a second here, I've got the lines for you on this game. Strasbourg plus 110, Nice plus 230. The draw is plus 250, it looks like, and I'm not seeing. I am seeing a total here. My apologies. It looks like the total is 2.25, Nick.
Yes.
So 2.25.
Yep. I mean, League One in general is, of the 5 major leagues, definitely the one, ranked as far as top to bottom goes, the lowest. But in that same token, I think it's also, the most competitive. Besides PSG, the teams 2 through 20, they can all beat each other. And from that standpoint, you get a lot of good competitive games. You don't get the teams, of course, that you get in some of the other leagues. But I do think it's a very top to bottom competitive league. These two teams kind of fall right in the middle. I think they're very, very evenly matched. I actually took Strasbourg last night at plus 125. So the fact that it's come down to plus 110, I guess I'm got on the right side of the money there. Real reason I like them is that, it's Nice. They have a new manager last year. This is going to be a second season. They got a lot of new additions this year that are going to be good players. I think it's going to be like we see a lot of times when you bring in some good players, it's going to be a little bit of a time to gel situation. Yeah. And going on the road with a bunch that isn't quite sure of themselves, where everybody's at in the field, usually takes a little while. They won 2-1 over Lens last week in their first match, but they were not the better team. I mean, they only had 4 shots total, 2 on goal. They scored them both. Lens had 17 shots, generated over 3 expected goals. And I don't know. I honestly don't know how they won that game. So the scoreline did not really tell the true story of how Nice played. Strasbourg, they lost 1-3 at Lorient, but they didn't really play that well either. So I can't say anything necessarily positive performance from that game. But I like Strasbourg at home. They were very good there last year. They had 7 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. They were plus 8 on the goal differential. Nice, away from home, only had 3 wins in their season, which was shortened, of course, but 3 wins, 4 draws, 6 losses, and were minus 5 on the goal differential. Expected goals really favored Strasbourg at home as well. They were generating over 1.5 and only allowing 1, while Nice had one of the worst, I think it was the second worst expected goals against numbers on the road at 1.84. So they really struggled defensively, and I think that might be what happens again this year, at least early. I think they're the team that'll probably get better as the year goes on. And ultimately, at the end of the year, I do actually expect them to finish ahead of Strasbourg. I think they could be a top 5, top 6. I don't know if they'll battle for that Champions top 4, but they might. I don't see Strasbourg necessarily doing that. But right now, early in the season, Strasbourg didn't have a lot of changes over the season, at least for the actual guys playing. Yeah. And I think they'll be a little bit better here at home than Nice will. And Strasbourg has won each of the last 2 seasons at home over Nice. So I just think it's a good chance, a good price right now at the plus money to take Strasbourg at home in this one, where they are very good.
All right. I have to ask you this because you always seem to have them. Any exact score predictions in this game?
I actually don't. I didn't take anything in this one. If I did, it would probably be a 2-1. I didn't look at the numbers. Strasbourg can score at home. They even a lot of games they were putting up 2 or 3 at home. But Nice generally is a defensive team, and they keep games low scoring, but they did struggle on the road. So I think 2 goals, 2-1 probably sounds right, but I honestly did not look at that market. I'm not going to. Right now, early in the season, I just don't have a good enough feel to really get into the scores yet. So I'm going to stay away from right now. But 2-1, if you had a gun to my head, is what I'd probably go with.
All right, awesome. We are going to head to our second game, and a return to Champions League. I'm not actually even sure if they've actually been in the Champions League before, Rennes, but they will go through the qualification process for the Champions League with PSG and Marseille getting the top 2 spots with the shortened one. And I know a lot of teams complained about France ending their season. Teams like most certainly Lille. Lille was the team that was a point back of Rennes heading into the final stretch run, the final last I think 10 games, because they cut that season short, 28 games into the season. So a little bit there, but they're in. They're in the Champions League. They were a very good team at home last year, 9-2-3, 25 goals for, 14 against. Tough to play at home. And while I did not look it up, I'm not sure if one of you guys remembers, I was under the impression that they beat PSG in the cup game prior to the season starting last year. I believe that was Rennes. So I'm going to throw it to Kev here on this game here. The line in this game right now is Rennes is minus 106 at home. Montpellier is plus 300. The draw is plus 230. And the total in this game is sitting at a flat 2.25. So it's shaded to the under, which leads me to believe at some point this might just actually hit an even 2 on the goal line. Kev?
Yeah, I took a small piece of. I managed to get Rennes plus 107. So again, it's you're getting about 10 cents. It's moved about 10 cents from that line. Only a small piece because I'm very tentative on the French league. We had a winner. We started off. We're 1-0 in the season so far with that. We had Reims last week plus a half a goal. But I'm very cagey going in for the first few games just till we see where we are in terms of the crowd attendance and so on. But in terms of these two teams, we seen Rennes open up last week with an away draw against Lille. It was a bit of a feisty game. There was 2 red cards shown in that game, both sides. I thought, though, in fairness, looking at the overall stats, Rennes were unlucky not to take something from that game, all 3 points, because they outshot Lille 16 shots to 5 in that game. Found it difficult to break them down, though, and convert, and the game finished up 1-1. Saying that, though, Rennes have been very good at home. They've won 5 of their last 6 opening day match fixtures inside Rosemont Park, and obviously they'll be keen to add to that here. Montpellier are going to have nightmares about this game because Montpellier haven't played yet this season, and as we said, there'll be no rush to do so because the final game of last season was a 5-0 hammering to Rennes back in March. So, I don't know whether they'll have nightmares about coming back to this, facing this Rennes team in this one. Montpellier, look, they've also been dismal on the road. They had the 4th worst road record in last season's French League 1. They managed to win just 5 of 28 halves over them 14 away games. So that is really dismal. Now, so perhaps no crowd might favour them slightly here, Montpellier. And Montpellier haven't scored in their last 367 minutes of competitive road game action. And they've scored just 1 goal in this stadium against Rennes in their last 5 road games here. You have to take a piece of Rennes. They look decent value. And as I said, I picked it up at plus 107.
Yeah, and the weird thing about Montpellier is using that phrase that I always used to get wrong, the Jekyll and Hyde thing there. But as bad as they are on the road, they had one of the best records at home last season. Through 14 games, they were 10-2-2, 26 goals for, 10 against. And it's that record that at the end of the day is what ends up keeping them sort of mid-table. Not really. They had an outside shot at maybe one of the Europa spots. They finished a point back before the league ended. But it's one of those scary things with this team is how bad they are, but then you have to look at taking them at home. because they were a very good team at home last season.
Yep. I want to say something about them. One thing I like to look at a lot with teams is their consistency home and away. Obviously, most teams are going to have a better home record, right? But where do they fall in the table as far as both go? So Rennes, 4th best home record, 4th best away record. Montpellier, hang on, it was 3rd best home record, 4th worst away record.
Yeah.
And I like to look at the teams to really get a better picture of like the caliber of the teams. I like to look at away records. If you look at the top 4 teams in League One last year, PSG on the road, PSG, Marseille, Lyon, Rennes. Yeah. Those are the best teams in the league. Lyon didn't even make the Europa League because they just didn't get it done when they needed to, especially at home. But they're definitely a better team than the teams that are ahead of them that made the Europa League on a shortened season, and they got shut out too from not having the rest of the year. But I think that split for Montpellier just tells a better picture that, they're not a true, good, solid team, top to bottom, that can consistently perform. So I like the sides Kevin is on there. No rebuttal on my end. Not that you asked,
well,
but I'm just
that's
throwing
always
out there.
good to hear. That I like it when you guys stay happy with each other, because I'm working on a deal to get you both to come out to Vegas for the Euro 2021s, which was supposed to be the Euro 2020s. And the last thing I need is to take you guys out to a pub one night, and then after a few drinks, you guys start throwing blows at each other and stuff, right?
Well, Vegas is the best place to do that in fairness,
That's true.
You know what I mean? Or I speak to Dana White, and we rent an octagon for a night, and we just get the Wager Talk crew in there, and we go mano a mano, and we see who's going to win. I will officiate. I'll be the Herb Dean. I can't take any blows to the head anymore, so I've had too many concussions. Anyways, guys, it's a sort of a shortened show today. We still did go 35 minutes. So Nick, we're just gonna go real quickly a recap of the free plays to anyone who is tuning in very late. You like
Strasbourg plus money. They're around plus 110. I believe you threw them out there at right now. I got them at plus 120, but anything at the plus side is good. So Strasbourg at home this week is good over Nice.
All right, and Kev.
Yeah, Rennes money line. The price right now minus 106. Still think there's some value there as well, and also if I can just go quickly, yes, for anyone who followed us on Twitter, on Tuesday we put out 16-1. Mane to Barcelona. I don't know if you guys seen that too.
I did see your tweet.
16-1. And we just got breaking news about 2 or 3 hours ago. Liverpool have offered him for 85 million euros to replace Messi.
Yeah, and speaking of this Messi thing, I'm absolutely overjoyed that he's chosen to come to Juve and play with Ronaldo.
What?
No, I think there's only 2 teams, I believe, that can afford for him to play, and it's either going to be PSG, where he could get reunited with Neymar, or reunited with Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. Really can't see him going anywhere else. Forget about the rumors of him ever going to the MLS and playing with Beckham and all the billions that their owners there have. He's not going there. He's not going to go back and play with Newell's old boys, like his old team in Argentina, because of the safety of his children. If you read up on the town where that team plays, they were hit very hard, and there's just not a lot of safe places there for him to play. He wants to play in Champions League. He wants to lift the trophy one more time or 2 more times. So he's going to find a place, and it's likely going to be, if he goes anywhere, unless they can convince him to stay in Barcelona, and that's going to go to court. Plain and simple, that is going to go to court. If there's any place, he's going to end up in Man City in the EPL, because that's the top league in the world, and that's where everyone wants to go. His contract expired on June the 10th. He had to inform the team before his contract expired that he wanted to leave, and it would be on a free transfer, where there is no 700 million, whatever it is, transfer fee. So Barcelona may try and hold him to that, but the problem is that with everything that happened with COVID, that he can say that, well, while his contract expired, he still stayed with Barcelona and continued to play through the restart. So that contract should have been extended right to when the season ended. So, or a couple of weeks after that. So, Bartholomew, I think it is the guy, the president at Barcelona. This man is a very litigious guy. He loves going to court. And this is where this whole Messi thing on the free transfer is going to end up. It's going to end up in a court where he says, I'm not allowing you to leave unless someone pays the 700 million euros or dollars or pounds or whatever currency that it is in. So I think we're in for a long haul here. We're going to see. There's no way for Man City or PSG to pay that and stay within the fair play rules. So unless you guys know of anything different, this is how it looks like it's shaping up.
Do you think he'd be happy, though? Do you think he'd be happy to go to a team where he's the second best player?
Are you referring to PSG?
No. I'm referring to Man City, actually. I've got a man crush on Kevin De Bruyne. Yes. I think he's the best player in Europe. Yeah. So, honestly, I just think to see them two playing together would be magical. That actually Bayern might find themselves in competition next year.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure how everything is going to shake out. And this is why sort of the point that Nick made just a little while earlier of, as we head into these previews and handicapping games, there's, this season just ended. The transfer window has been fast and furious. We sort of need to see how all these pieces of the puzzle fit in. Like you look at Chelsea and they've been absolutely active and going crazy with signings of Thiago and Kai and just a ton of people coming to that team. And obviously Werner, we don't know how they're going to look or what shape that team is going to take. We're going to have to wait and see, take a wait and see approach. So we'll try and preview to the best we can with these changes and these transfers, and then just go at it from there. But anything to add, Nick, before we go?
No, I mean, listen, it's the story of the summer for sure. Where is he going to go? And apparently he's going to make an announcement, but talk about his decision to leave. So it does sound like, he's hell bent on getting out of there. So I don't know how. Unless the court forces him to stay, then it's like, well, what good is it doing to have him stay if he doesn't want to be there also, right? So I did see something, too, where the new hired coach, what's his name, Bortomeu? I don't know how to pronounce his name. He even offered to resign already to keep Messi there. So, I don't know how this is going to shake out, but I don't know if he's going to end up being there anymore. I just don't see it happening. Whether he's forced to, he's not going to play, and it's not doing anybody any good. So I don't know where he's going to go, but I do think he's going to leave this year.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of it comes from. Between that, I think he's the president. I don't think he's the sporting director. I believe he's the president, but Bartholomew, or I'm not sure if I'm butchering his name, but regardless, you look it up. There's no love lost between those two. They don't see eye to eye, and that's one of the reasons why Messi wants to leave. So I thought about this the same way about him leaving as well too. John Jr., welcome to the chat. The final free play from Kevin was Rennes plus. Did you get him at plus 107? I believe they might be at like minus 106 right now. That is the last play. RENNES. They're the home team on Saturday. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Guys, there's a ton of soccer coming up with all the seasons starting, and then they need to finish the seasons early because of the Euros. You're going to see daily games. So you're going to see like EPL going midweek, and then, of course, on the weekends. You're going to see the other leagues doing the same thing. There's a ton of daily soccer coming up, and without knowing what else is going on in the world of sports, the one thing that remains a constant is there is soccer. There will be soccer. This beautiful game of football that we all love. So if you like your daily action, head over to either Nick's page, Kevin's page, or mine. Find those promos that are ending soon. They'll probably end at the end of this weekend, I believe. And you'll find them there. 30 days, 90 days, not 60 as on the screen. I kind of screwed that up. And 365, you'll get $60 off a 30-day package, which is regularly $199. you'll get $200 off a 90-day, which is regularly $4.99, or $350 off a 365-day 1-year package, which is normally $9.99. You're going to get a ton of plays. Everyone has done fantastic in soccer this year and last year. It's always been a profitable one. And if we don't feel that your 1-year soccer package or 90-day went the way we wanted it to go, we'll always ask our wonderful girls at customer relations to sort of take care of you. So grab one of those. They're expiring soon, and they won't be up there next week. I can tell you that. Guys, listen, I appreciate you guys putting up with me today with the contractors and stuff and the work that's going on. I'm a little behind on getting things organized, but next week EPL will be back. And Nick, Kev, best of luck with your plays this weekend. Knock 'em dead.
See you.